Color television and courtship, Jethro's infatuation with Linda Curry. In the golden age of American television, few programs captured the gentle, enduring comedy of cultural collision with the warmth and precision of the Beverly Hillbillies. The composite script, drawn from several classic season 4 episodes, opens upon a scene of pure, unadulterated hill country romantic enthusiasm that immediately establishes both the comic premise and the deeper thematic currents that would sustain the series across its long and beloved run. When a voice inquires of Jethro Bodine where he is going in Piles Court and Derby, the young man's reply arrives with the unshakable confidence that Max Baer Jr. made so memorable throughout his years in the role. "I'm going to pick up my sweetie." Pressed further to identify the object of his affection, Jethro announces with proud certainty that she is Miss Drysdale's pretty new maid Linda Curry, adding the emphatic declaration that she is crazy mad in love with me. The laughter that greets this assertion from those around him does nothing to diminish his conviction. In that single exchange, the audience is invited into the affectionate world of a young man whose heart remains pure even as his perceptions remain delightfully, almost heroically skewed by the unfamiliar rules of Beverly Hills society. What elevates this opening beyond simple situation comedy is the underlying revelation that Linda Curry's interest lies not in Jethro himself, but in a far more modern marvel, the Clampett family's color television. The script makes this plain with sly efficiency when another character observes that the object of Jethro's affection has declared he possesses something none of her other fellas has got, only to clarify that he's got color television. In the mid-1960s, color broadcasting was still a relatively new and expensive luxury for many American households. Networks had only recently begun the widespread transition to color programming, and ownership of a color set carried genuine social prestige. The Clampetts, newly wealthy yet still guided by the values of the Ozarks, possess this technological wonder almost by accident of their oil fortune. For Linda, the set represents an opportunity to watch the evening's football contest between the Rams and the Packers in a way that her own 3-inch round-screened black and white set could never provide. Football, she insists, simply is not football on such a limited display. The dialogue underscores her practical motivation with perfect comic timing as she dismisses any notion of romantic distraction by noting that she does not even know Jethro is in the same room once the game begins. Billy Munson's starting role at quarterback holds far greater allure than any parlor conversation the young man might offer. Buddy Ebsen's Jed Clampett observes these proceedings with the quiet patience that defined his performance across the entire series. When Granny expresses concern about the young lady being alone with Jethro in the parlor, Jed reassures her that his nephew is a proper boy, though he cannot resist the dry observation that being alone with Jethro is about as exciting as watching ice melt. This deadpan delivery, a hallmark of Ebsen's artistry, allows the humor to bloom organically from character rather than from forced punchlines. Ebsen never overplayed Jed's wisdom. Instead, he allowed it to emerge through understatement, a technique that gave the character moral authority without ever making him appear superior or judgmental. Irene Ryan's Granny, meanwhile, bustles about with her characteristic mix of protective affection and hill country pragmatism, taking trays back to the kitchen and muttering about the dangers of pretty girls, causing Jethro to lose what little sense he possesses. Ryan's physical energy and sharp vocal timing made Granny one of the most memorable comic creations of the decade. Even in these early moments of the composite narrative, her presence establishes the protective maternal force that will later drive the love conjure plot and the matchmaking schemes involving the new neighbors. The physical comedy of Jethro's eagerness is already beginning to take shape as he forgets his own date in his haste to reach the parlor, a small but telling moment that Max Baer Jr. would have played with exuberant physicality. Baer's Jethro was never merely stupid, he was enthusiastically, single-mindedly focused on whatever goal currently occupied his large and open heart. When he leads Linda into the parlor with the declaration, "Let's not waste time out here," only to realize a moment later that he has left her behind, the audience laughs not at cruelty but at the pure, undiluted earnestness of a young man whose romantic imagination has outrun his practical awareness. The subsequent exchange, in which Linda requests that the lights be turned down and then invites additional friends to join the gathering, further underlines her true priorities. Jethro remains oblivious, still believing himself the center of romantic attention. The arrival of Marie and other young women, the casual dismissal of Jethro's presence and the cheerful announcement that there will be 4 of them and 2 sofas create a tableau of culture clash that feels both specific to its era and timeless in its observation of how technology can reshape human interaction. The Clampett Parlor, once a place for simple family gatherings, has become an arena for televised spectacle. In the 1960s, the living room television set was rapidly transforming American domestic life. Families gathered around the glowing screen not merely for entertainment but for a shared national experience. Professional football was ascending in popularity with remarkable speed, and color broadcasts heightened the drama of the game by rendering the uniforms, the field, and the crowd in vivid detail previously unavailable to most viewers. The Clampetts' possession of a color set places them almost accidentally at the forefront of this cultural shift. Linda's single-minded focus on the Rams-Packers contest reflects the growing consumer appetite for athletic spectacle, while Jethro's insistence that he and Linda will spark and spoon in the parlor after the game reveal his traditional notions of courtship rooted in the slower, more personal rhythms of mountain life. The contrast is never cruel. Instead, it is rendered with the show's signature warmth, inviting viewers to smile at the misunderstanding while recognizing the genuine goodwill on both sides. Granny's protective instincts surface again when she notes that the girl has been alone in the parlor with Jethro for quite near an hour and wonders whether she ought to check on her. Jed's calm reassurance that Jethro is proper is tempered by the wry acknowledgement that the young man's company may not be the most stimulating. When Linda herself emerges requesting a glass of water, and then declares that this is the most thrilling and exciting evening she has ever had, the irony is delicious. The thrill derives entirely from the football game, not from Jethro's presence. Her invitation for friends to join the second half and the subsequent arrival of additional young women transforms the parlor into a lively viewing party from which Jethro is effectively excluded even while remaining physically present. The script's comic timing in these moments is impeccable. Linda's cheerful obliviousness to Jethro's romantic expectations collides with his continued belief that he is the object of her affection, creating a sustained comic tension that never tips into mean-spiritedness.